All right, so let me show you inside of Ads Manager, actually even better triple whale of a few brands that are hitting $100,000 per month or more. And there are a few things that these brands did that every single brand that is shooting for the first 100K per month does. So in this video, I'm gonna show you the actual steps you need to make this happen for your brand, the full strategy behind what we do for the brands we work with, and the proof while screen sharing all along the way. So here's brand number one, and I'll pull out a couple more as we go through this. So brand number one, $289,000 last month. We did $52,000 in spend on Facebook, $6,000 on Google, $1,500 or so negligible on TikTok, and about $60,000 in spend to make $289,000. Let me pull up another brand here. For everybody who does not know, Triple Whale is like an attribution software, so it gives the credit where it's actually due, not just what's the bloated numbers inside of the Ads Manager, because those platforms really just care about making sure that they look good to you, but may not be the actual number. And for whatever reason, Triple Whale is being dumb right now. We're actually just gonna go over to Shopify because Triple Whale is being wonky. This is another brand, did $325,000 last month in the month of August 2024, and we have an increase in total revenue, 17% increase in online stores. So as you can see, decent amount. And throughout the video, I'll continue to show you new stores and what's actually going on here. And no, this doesn't have to take you years to get to, but all of that in a second. All right, so number one here is to optimize the foundation. You need to define a clear brand identity. So that means you need to craft a strong and relatable brand story that resonates with your target audience, develop a unique selling proposition or a USP that sets your brand apart. So what is a USP, right? So if you are a clothing brand, what it makes you different than other clothing brands? And a lot of times, sure, it could be quality. I know you guys like it. A lot of you guys are probably like, mine is the best quality. That's fine. Really, that's probably one of the lowest aspects to me on like what you should be focusing on, because everybody says that, but you can't really focus on quality if nobody ever buys your product. Okay, so what's your unique position or unique selling proposition? What is the thing that you're offering to the marketplace? It sets your brand apart. And a lot of times it does have to do with your story. So your brand identity is basically this overarching umbrella, this cohesive approach to how your brand is perceived online. And so you do have to have a great looking website. You do have to have a clear message, and you have to be able to understand what problems your target audience actually has. We'll get into that here in a second. I'll pull up my screen and I'll show you guys what that actually looks like. But let's go into the high converting website. What are we looking for in a high converting site? This is something that Christian specializes in. It's on our channel as well. So if you're looking for this type of information in depth, it's on our channel. But so let's go to Skims here. What do they do? One of the very first things they do is ask me for my email address. Now, to be fair, this brand identity is very clear. Obviously, most people, at least in the United States and probably around the world, do know who Kim Kardashian is. So there's some brand notoriety here. But they're still giving an offer, 15% off. Great. They're asking which preference that you have so that you get personalized information. Okay, gonna go scroll out of there. They actually have a couple of things that make their site really, really nice. So lots of call to actions. So go to shop now. What's new at Skims? This is their new arrivals. What's really cool, I love this option here. You can see the products very easily, switching back and forth without actually having to go into the product. So very cool, a new feature. Not our whole conversation for this video, but if you want something to go off of, maybe mimic a little bit, you want a high converting site, use something like Skims. You can also use, it's called GT Metrics. So GT Metrics like this, and you can see the actual speed of your site. So put your URL in here, it will actually analyze your site and you'll see if it has a speed good for your potential customers. That's one part of this, right? It needs to be clean, intuitive. Also want to make sure that you're actually looking at this on a mobile device, mostly because that's where people are going to make a lot of purchases. So making sure that it's mobile responsive, clear call to actions, telling people that you have the newest arrivals and then there's a button is not as clear as the button that says shop now. If you go over to the page, like the home page here for Skims, you can see now, right? It says shop now, shop now, shop now. Lots of call to action, what's going on right here, and they're all pretty much shop now because it's very clear what you want people to do. So how do you craft a good brand message? Well, first and foremost, I think you really just have to ask yourself, why did you start the company? Okay. Then we go through what we call our struggling avatar. So this document will be helpful, and if you want this, just comment the word avatar down below. We'll send it over to you. But basically, it asks you the questions that you need to get out of your head. It's not that you don't know these things. And again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know right now. You do need to know your customer, but you need to be able to ask the questions to yourself so that you can get it out on paper versus in your head. I was talking to a guy literally last week. He's in the e-commerce space as well. He's very well versed in the direct-to-consumer market, just not specifically clothes, and he does a lot of stuff on Amazon. We got into it, the conversation, and he was like, I just don't know the clothing space, and I don't know direct-to-consumer, so it's like just a slight nuance. And I talked to him and I said, well, have you ever written down who your actual customer is? He's like, no, I already know them. It's like, well, if you knew who they were, then you would generate the sales. And now the whole point for this video, and the reason you're here, and the reason you're watching this video right now, is because you're trying to generate $100,000 a month or more. And so he's asking these questions as he's making $2,000 a month. So it's like, what's the difference here? The small things, the details, the stuff that we're going through in this video, these are the things you got to take notes with. These are the things that you have to implement if you want to get to that level. You cannot cut corners. Great brands do not cut corners. They find a way to dig deep into that. And so you understand who your audience is and you go at a deeper level. Same thing for this, right? If you're a clothing brand owner, let me guess, if you're a boutique or a private label or you're a streetwear brand, it doesn't matter, right? The very first thing that you did was probably come up with a product. And if you do manufacturing, you probably ordered a lot of products. And then now you're trying to figure out, how do I market and sell this product, when really nobody knows who you are. You don't necessarily know how to create content, and if you do, you don't know how to scale it with ads. Don't worry, we'll get into that piece here in a little bit. But my point is, like, I'm continuously talking to my customers. I'm continually figuring out new problems that they're having so that I can come up with solutions. You're doing the same thing, right? So you have a struggling avatar. You need to create your unique solution. There's a document on that. So diving deeper into what's your unique solution as the clothing brand. And then we go through what we call our future-paced hero, which is, what is life like afterwards? Your product actually solves their problem, the desire that they're going after, okay? Once you've done that, you understand your audience, you need to now create an irresistible offer. So going over here, we have our brand identity, and this can kind of be broken down in a couple of things. We talked about that already. Let me write out just the important parts here, right? So we have our website. We need to know our customer, all right? And then I want to share a screen with this for you guys. You must have an offer. Every good brand has an irresistible offer to the marketplace. If you do not have an offer, it's very difficult to grow and scale. Nobody likes to pay full price. And if you don't have any notoriety, if you don't have any reviews, if you don't have a bunch of UGC or user-generated content, prove that you are who you say you are and you're solving a specific problem, it's much harder. It's not impossible, it's much harder to actually sell. So when you launch a product, you have to have an offer that communicates and provides immediate value to your customers. And your offer should trigger emotions like excitement and urgency, exclusivity. Those are the things that matter. So over here on the screen, I have a couple of things here that you need to make sure that you do, right? So we have assumptions of a product, okay? And with this, we need to have, okay, what is the product, right? We have an average order value of something, and then we fill out this information here, right? What are your cost of goods? You can fill out really all of this. So the green, you can fill out that are specific to your brand, right? That's fine. You figure out how much it is to acquire a customer. For example, you have a CAC, which is cost to acquire a customer, or customer acquisition cost. And so how much is that? Is it $25 on Facebook ads? Okay, good. These numbers should adjust. If it costs you $40, 50% cost of goods, and you have all these other things to fulfill, right? And then it costs you $25, your profit is $2, 3%, and even at 20 orders per month, you make 51. Even if we go to 200, still barely making any money, like $386 net profit. Doesn't work that way. You gotta have better margins. You can't create that, and if you don't have better margins, it's very difficult to create an offer. Now, what we have done here is this calculator. I had a calculator in 2015, 2018, 2021, 22, 23, and then even 24. And I've just looked at calculators that other people have put out on the internet. I've put out calculators that we have done, whether it's for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. And then we've adjusted these to make sure that they match what's actually happening in the market, and you can have some actual offers here. I saw somebody do something very similar here, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Let's create our own version. So without an offer, this is what you make, $2.43. If you are able to add a flat percentage, how much more volume would you actually need to make this profitable? It's like, we need more volume at this point, but okay, maybe makes sense. This one over here, we're actually making $21 or 19% profit. It's like, okay, makes sense. A gift with purchase, this could work. All right, we're at negative 16. It's like, oh wow, none of these actually make any money. BOGO, buy two, get one, because our margins over here don't make any sense. And before you ever do anything with an offer, you really need to run the number, because a lot of people in videos will talk to you and they're like, oh, I have an amazing offer. That's what's gonna get you 100K. And then you give away the farm, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you're like 40% off. And then it's like, oh, I actually can't do that. But what if you got your average order value to $100? Well, now all the offers start to make sense. We got 22%. We make $4,000 off of from the same amount of orders, all by just changing, this to $100 average order value and dropping our cost of goods from 50% to 40%, which even then is kind of high. I want you to be around 70% cost, or 70% profit margin, 30% cost of goods. Now, fill this out, figure it out for you, and then you can come up with an actual offer that makes sense. And a good brand, again, it comes back to right here. What is your brand identity? So having a good, clean website, knowing exactly who your customer is, going through the struggling avatar document, and then actually understanding what your offer is and filling out the numbers inside of there. Then you can offer something to the marketplace that everybody else will understand and eventually convert on. But most people, I promise you, maybe this is you, you don't have something like this. You're not running the actual numbers and you're just like,
everybody else is doing 15%. My competitor is doing 20%. It's like,
your competitor is not Supreme. Your competitor is not Red Dress or Pink Lily. Those are making hundreds of millions of dollars per year. They're not your competitor, right? 100K, they're making 100K per day. So it's not to demean what you're doing. It's just saying they're actually not your competitor. So trying to take their offer, I promise you, they're running their numbers. They know what they can do. You can't compete at that level. So we got to talk about how you can. Now, step 2 is where almost every single person messes up because they think this one is the hardest, but really it just takes actual work. Now let me share with you the scalable traffic strategies, because honestly, if you don't have traffic, nothing else matters. But first, I just want to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. My name is Aaron. I'm one of the co-founders here at Bit Branding alongside my business partner. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale and grow online. My business partner, Christian, focuses on websites and apps and themes and like everything to do with like the, I would say, more technical side of things, design side of things for clothing brands, and I focus more on the messaging and ads and creative, considering like content. So that's what we do in this channel. It's completely comprehensive, and we try to make it that way. In the last 12 months alone, we've served over 250 clothing brands. If you're a clothing brand and want to continue to grow your brand to the 6 figures, 7 figure, 8 figures per year, please give us a nice little like and subscribe. We drop new content for you every single week. And just for you, in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you actually who should be doing the Super Bowl in 2025, not who was announced. Argue with me in the comments. All right, so number 2 here is to implement scalable traffic strategies. This is both paid and organic. Good brands do paid or organic. Great brands do both. Okay, so paid advertising. You need to focus on data-driven, paid media. I specifically would suggest that you focus on Facebook and Instagram, right? Understanding the Meta suite. Google, TikTok, all those can come a little bit later, and it's not that it isn't profitable. It isn't that it would not work. It's just that as a clothing brand owner, it is much, much easier and much higher likelihood that you can make Facebook and Instagram work. Targeting your ideal customer profile makes sense. Start small with testing campaigns to identify winning creatives and audiences. And once you have validated the best performers, gradually scale up the spend. Continuously make sure that you're analyzing on return on ad spend. It is not the end all be all, but you should be looking at this number. It is a metric, not the metric, and a metric that you should be focusing on. I do not buy that ROAS does not matter. I do buy that ROAS is a small portion in the overall scheme of what actually matters in your business, and you need to continue to optimize that funnel. We'll jump into some ad stuff here in a second. I want to talk a little bit deeper on that, but first we need to hit on organic. Organic, you need to be building organic reach through social media content, right? So consistency, the most important piece, and then making sure that you're actually engaging with people. I always tell people that you should be focusing on a couple of platforms, one platform specifically, and then distributing the rest, because honestly, you cannot do everything. And as a business owner, you're going to spend 80% of your time as a new business owner marketing, and all that time is much more leveraged if you are able to tell stories and behind the scenes through content creation. So in the ideal situation, you are focusing on really good Instagram posting, Reels, and TikTok. The way I would break it down very simply is if it was Instagram specifically, let's just go that route. What would I be doing on Instagram right now? And more importantly, you're probably wondering, okay, so what did this brand do? They made $325,000 last month. They're mostly focused on paid ads in Instagram. So Instagram, what I would be doing for a new brand, okay? I would be posting 3 times per day that are Reels. And anybody who's part of our OSO program, we suggest this. It's a 30-day challenge, right? You may not be able to sustain it, but it's about working that muscle. You've got to get better at creating this type of content. So 3 times per day for Reels. And you're like, that's a lot of work. You're right. Making $100,000 a month is not easy. Otherwise, everybody would do it, right? You're talking about a 7-figure business. I think only 6% of people who ever start a business ever get to that point. I mean, most clothing brands are out of business in 2 years. 80% of them are out of business in 2 years. And most of it is because they're doing it as a side hustle. And so their current hustle, their day-to-day job is actually paying for the side hustle to live longer than it probably should have. This video should help you realize how much hard work it is, but it is worth it. But you got to do the stuff that actually makes this thing happen. So Instagram 3 times per day for Reels, 1 times per day video carousel. Now, the video carousel, again, so what it looks like, and we can try to pull something up here, is a thumb-stopping image, and then you have video. And then you have an image, and then you have video, and then image, and then video. So it's a carousel, all right? And then for some of you guys, you may be able to do up to 20 posts right now. It's actually being rolled out to everybody. Before you could only do 10, but now you can do 20. Instagram really likes for people to do that. That's why they added more of them, because people scroll through. It's better engagement. So you get people to engage, plus you get video to build the story. Underneath Instagram again, I would be looking at stories. The ideal spot is kind of that 5 to 10 per day, showing behind the scenes. And the reason that you're doing that is because you want to get people to, I wouldn't say fall in love with you, but to really trust you. And that happens whenever you're able to show up kind of face to camera. You don't have to. It's much easier to do face to camera to build an actual relationship with somebody. But if I'm posting 3 to 4 times per day, one common thing you got to make sure you do is always at your profile in the description, because so many people create the content and they think that people are just going to go click on the profile. When they're already looking at the video and they check out the comments or the description, they should click the link that takes them back to your profile. And then when they get to your profile, they'll see your stories. And then if you have good stories, they'll probably follow you. And if they follow you, then they'll be able to stay engaged with you, okay? This is how you actually build an actual brand, is create good content to your target audience, over here to your customer, right? And then you are able to have conversations, right? Most of them are gonna be private. This is a prediction we made in 2024, beginning of January of 2024, is that DM is where a lot of sales are gonna happen. So you get people who find you through Reels, who come and fall in love with you and find out more about you through stories, and then you're able to do polls and interactions and DM, and guess what? That's where selling happens. One-to-one combat, especially from a beginning brand. You're like,
that's not scalable.
Absolutely it's not scalable, but that does not mean that you should not do it, right? So you should be DMing there. From that, you're gonna have, right, if you create 3 posts or basically 4 posts a day, this is 120 posts per month. That's a lot. I would actually redistribute this on multiple other platforms, right? So I would do TikTok, I would post it on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels as well. But 120 new pieces of content per month. Of those, we may get 10 to 15 of those that do really, really well. What we call VFM, viral for me. Shout out to Sean Cannell and Video Ranking Academy for talking for that acronym basically. But when it's viral for me, we got 10 to 15 of these. Then we jump them and throw them into Ads Manager. We no longer have to go and do a bunch of testing. We can take a variation of them and actually put them inside of Ads Manager, and we know with pretty good certainty that they're going to do well, and we can scale it up, putting even a small budget, $30 a day, scaling it up to 50 to 100. I mean, you guys saw here, right? The spend for this kind of brand to get to that level is, I mean, it's gonna take a little bit more than $50 a day. However, it's where people start, right? A lot of times you gotta be able to start. So it starts you with the brand identity, goes through the actual traffic strategies, paid advertising, we'll jump into that. Let me show you traffic strategy. So this is when you get to $100 a day, or you could do less concepts for less money, but basically you select your focus of where you're gonna go after, right? Is this ad gonna be evergreen? What's going on? What's your offer? going back to the offer. What is that, right? So bundling, free gift, etc. You make sure you actually run the numbers here. Then you go through and you create your creative concepts. We have foreplay links inside of here. This is like, for example, reviews, before and after. So you can pull it up and just get some examples of content to create. So these are all ads that not even ads actually, they're organic. So I'm like, okay, cool, I wanna jump on these. Some of them are from the US, some of them are not, but like, check this out. Okay, going live, okay. Every single one of these that I put in here are actually like, they are viral or very much on an early trend. The trend can be used, you don't have to use the song. If there's a newer song, you can use the newer song and still follow the trend of the shot, okay? So a lot of stuff that's going on in here. If you want this link, you can just comment the word foreplay down below. I'll send it over to you. I update these literally sometimes 3 to 5 times, just really as I'm seeing stuff. I'll save if there's still good stuff in the marketplace, and there's a lot. You can use this, right, to come over here and create content that gets flooded into, or sorry, here, that gets flooded into over here when you actually start to run ads. One of the biggest parts for our e-com accelerator process, the process that we've created to build and grow clothing brands, is to use influencers and UGC, or user-generated content, creating partnerships. We encourage people to tag us, because as soon as we get UGC, we'll have a level of, I would say, authority or authenticity from people as well. All part of the traffic piece here. The other part, organic as well, and this has kind of changed a lot, is SEO, so search engine optimization. You probably heard the acronym SEO before. I would suggest for you to build a blog or some kind of knowledge base that generates traffic for high intent searches. Instead of doing like, the top tunic dress 2024, you could do how to style a tunic dress this fall 2024 or something. And it's what we call a long tail keyword. And you can just, honestly, you can go to trends.google.com. What I'm seeing right now is a bunch of stuff with patterns. A lot of people are searching for like cheetah and different kind of animal print patterns, like for leggings and everything. So if you wanted to jump on that trend, what I would do is, okay, cool, I'm gonna go find a trend that's going on, and then I'm gonna incorporate my version, if I have it, if it makes sense, for some kind of new cheetah print or like leopard print or animal print outfit. And I'm gonna create content on that trend, and then I'm gonna create a blog around that trend, and then I'm gonna create a video that goes along there that goes inside of my blog as well, that drives traffic to my site. Wow, this is in depth. You're right, absolutely it is. I would make sure that you're continuing to take notes. The goal is not that you do this in a day. The goal is that you lay this out over time, and it's not that you are not going to grow or scale during that period, but it's like, you've gotta lay the strong foundation. Otherwise, nothing else really matters. In 2023, we were working with a brand that was on a downward trajectory. Before starting with us, they peaked in 2021, like most people, and 2022 was very rough, probably their toughest year ever. Then the beginning of 2023, we suggested to try something new, and they honestly were completely hesitant because it would take them out of their comfort zone. There's no growth in the comfort zone, just so you guys know this. But this one part of the business changed everything, including the trajectory they were on, and I'll share with you everything and how they made that happen. But first, hold up 1 second. I just want to say that if you are a clothing brand owner, I want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow up profitably online, like we have done many, many times. You can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find a time on the calendar that works for you by checking out the link in the description down below. Okay, so number 3 is retention. I put it right here, retention marketing. And then funny enough, there's actually a company that we suggest to use called Retention. A little bit more about that here in just a second. The biggest way to do retention, and most brands that I talk to are like,
email is old.
I will tell you right now, how do you create a Facebook account? How do you create a TikTok account? You gotta have an email and or a phone number. So email and SMS, do they work? Yes, 100% do they work. Make sure that you are doing email and SMS marketing to retain customers, to increase the LTV, lifetime value, because these numbers over here are only assumptions if you don't get repeat purchase, right? So you need to know the lifetime value of your customer. How much are they worth over 30, 60, 90 days? And you need to build a segmented list to target customers based on behavior, new versus repeat buyers. So for example, we went back over to Skims. If you remember her pop-up, I don't think it's there, but if you remember her pop-up, it was specifically asking, are you searching for men or for women, or would you like a little bit of both? What's your age? Like, it's asking specific information. Are they getting more people to sign up? Probably not. Are they getting highly targeted people to sign up? Yes, absolutely. And a very curated message, or the right message to the right person at the right time, is going to do significantly better. You need to set up automated workflows like a welcome series, abandoned cart, post-purchase, upsells, rearrangement, like a re-engagement rather, campaigns. We really suggest a couple of main softwares to make this happen. So Klaviyo, big fans of them. You could also use Attentive. Not as big a fan of them, but we do have clients that use it. OmniSend is another option. I don't want to give you any more than that. Some people do post-pilot, but go and search for the ones that you would like. Happy to tell you that Klaviyo is probably like long-term your better option, but I do know people love OmniSend, and I know Attentive does really well SMS. So it's completely up to you on that, but you need to integrate email and SMS. So like, for example, if somebody adds to cart but does not purchase, send them an email. If they open up the email but don't purchase, send them an SMS. I'm really just trying to make sure that I give them a very personalized experience. SMS is also good for time sensitive. For example, you streetwear brands doing a drop, or for your boutiques when you're getting ready to go live. Speaking of live, how do we grow that brand I was just talking about? Let me pull up Shopify for you and I'll show you this line item. Okay, so this is in the last 365 days, so about a full year that we've been doing this service. You can see here this line item is called CommentSold, 428,000, and then another 143. So we've done about, what is it, 570, almost $600,000 in the last year off of this software alone. There's a link in the description down below. We don't really get a kickback or anything for this, but it's called Video. So if you're a Shopify user, you can check out Video. CommentSold, same thing, but they have their own kind of version or platform that's not for Shopify. Now, what is it? It's like QVC meets social media. So imagine me going live right here, showing off this black shirt, going and grabbing a different shirt here, showing off this shirt and telling you, all right, this shirt is a large. You can see right here. It's also got this feel, or it's got this guy right here. It is a 52% cotton, 48% polyester blend, so good quality. It's got an NFC, so it can actually scan with your phone, smartphone, super cool shirt. And then if you want this, you could actually comment the word sold down below and it would charge your card and automatically move through to the next purchase. Very cool. You can do multiple products. We have brands doing significant amount of money, as you can see from the screenshot here. Another one that we highly suggest is a platform called Joofy. It is one that we have recently partnered with. There's a link in the description down below. You can get 40% off. I'll just jump into it. So they are customized by you, 24-hour support built on the back end of basically ChatGPT. So very personalized to what's actually happening. You can see as this kind of pulls up on my screen, it goes through and it says, hey, I'm looking for a jacket. I'm looking to hike. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Do you have the right size? We do have this one in blue. Great. Can I suggest basically a pair of pants with you? Great. What's your refund window look like? All of these things happen at the same time. You can also DM somebody from Instagram, right? So you have 24/7 DM support from Instagram, which is awesome. We talked about that earlier over here, selling the DMs. You also have cart abandonment that goes away. You also have people who are unsure, they get confused, that would have left but now have hands-on support. Why does this work? Well, the same reason that the people in Hollister or the people in H&M or whomever are asking you if you have questions about something, you have that here. Not to be annoying, but if you need it. It's not just going to pop up and say, hey, buy this. But it also can do pre-sale and post-sale and cross-sell. It's literally your best sales tool, which costs you absolutely nothing as far as a commission, right? You just pay the actual service, and this is able to help you with your abandoned carts, upsell to people, give customers a better experience. It's already trusted, super powerful. We've been implementing it with brands that we've been using. They're giving you guys 40% off for the whole year. And if you have a certain amount of traffic, it's completely free. So go check out Joofy. Highly suggest that one as well. Now, this last piece you need to make sure that you do is to build an actual community of people. I prefer to do it on somewhere that you actually own. So it may not make sense for you guys who are in the boutique world because everybody loves the Facebook group, but it could be a Facebook group. It could be a Discord, it could be a Slack group, it could be Circle. Just find a place where you can get these community of people together to just start having conversations, adding value, right? We had a brand, I think it was 2022 we were working with them. They mostly sold like plus size clothing. And so the whole group was like body positivity and like encouraging people to work out and to lose weight and to feel good about themselves and just like be in a safe place. So the whole group was around that. And then just as a byproduct, hey, you're going to the beach, like we got something that makes you feel good and look good too. And so they sold clothes that way. And the group got huge. There's like 20 or 30,000 people in that group. Bonus for you guys. Just want to hit on this real quickly. Incentivize the customers to refer friends, referral programs, loyalty rewards. I would check out Smile for the loyalty rewards. And one other software I forgot to mention that we use as well is retention. You can go to retention.com. This will get, if you have enough traffic to the site, basically 10,000 people to the site per month, this starts to make sense. If you don't have that yet, don't worry, don't jump into it, but I did want to mention it just for all those who are wondering, like, what else are you guys using? We're using that as well. Also, so here's another brand I wanted to show you real quickly. It did $298,000 last month, up 2%, it's good. Just to kind of showcase what's happening. Now, what are the commonalities between these brands? They're exactly what we talked about here. They have a brand identity, it's very clear. They also understand who their customer is, and they're continuously working on it. They have a traffic strategy. They're doing a lot of organic and paid. They're not doing it perfectly. There's a lot of stuff to fix with them. That's why they hired us. And then you got the retention piece, right? Like it's the email, it's the SMS, it's using software like Retention and Jufy and Klaviyo and making sure that you show up. But I will tell you that the biggest component for all these people is that they could drive traffic consistently over time. And now that you guys know the strategy behind getting your first $100,000 per month, you needed that first. The next biggest question is, how do I make these ads work for my brand? Go watch that video on how to do that right here next. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. And P.S. Please make sure you subscribe.